And we're back live at the Light Grill 300. Our running order right now, with lights out on the Ford F-150 pace truck, is Truex in the number 2 vehicle. Yes, that's Martin Truex of Busch Nextel Cup fame. Nextel Cup. Did I just combine 2 leagues there? I think I did. And dang it, I was proud of it. So Martin Truex is in first place. Directly behind him is Kevin King. Directly behind Kevin King in the 29 vehicle is the 99 at Denny Hamlin. And directly behind them is the 55 of Jay Walker, the 99, riding in third position right there. Denny Hamlin was last week's winner at Rockingham. Of course, we're at Atlanta right now, getting ready to go green flag racing. So we go to the flag stand. Flagger, as you can see there in the top left corner, still has a yellow flag out. The green flag is waving, green, 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 and we are back underway here on lap 28 of 195. 2 quick cautions. Martin Truex leading us down into turn 1. That last caution was caused when the 21 of Greg Moore overcorrected and collected Shane Meal of Craftsman Truck Racing fame. Caution out. Looks like we have another wreck. So we're not missing much right now as you see the skid marks there on the track. Lights are flashing. Well, we had 15 to 20 laps of green flag racing. We're going to see if we can see what the problem is. It looks like the 21 down into the 55 of Jay Walker. So we'll check and see what that is if you'll stand by for just a moment. Here we are on the restart as we took the green flag, riding with the number 21 of Mike Wachowski. He's directly behind the 55 of Jay Walker, both Chevy Silverados. And here comes the 21. Oh, tags the 55 and sends it up into the wall. It did look like the 55 was starting to lose it just a little bit, was trying to gather it back up when the 21 gave him just a little bit of nudge. And that's why we were under caution there on lap 28. So we're back live here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Currently riding with the number 36 of Chris Shearburn. Dale Earnhardt Jr. unable to make it this evening, although we expect him next week. Our current point standings for this season, after 2 races, are Chris Shearburn up a position to the first place overall, followed by Kevin King, who dropped from first to second. TJ Majors up 6 positions to third. Denny Hamlin, after last week's win, up 7 positions to fourth, and Jeff Supta dropped from fourth to fifth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. dropping from third to sixth. Brett Rupert up 8 positions to seventh place, and Dan Denayer climbing 10 positions with his strong finish last week to 8th overall. Mike Wachowski climbed a position to 9th, and Dean Crandall from Canada all the way up to 10th position. Lights still on the Ford F-150. Official pace truck of the lights are still on, lap 31 of 195. Weather is 70 degrees and clear out on the track, so we shouldn't have any temperature issues. Checking the grills of the trucks to see if anybody threw some extra tape on there. My producer thinking he's going to give me a hard time. Coming out of turn 2, pace truck will come off the track here in just a moment. Heading down the back straightaway right now. That's a great shot of the trucks driving away from you. They'll be coming into turn 3. Martin Truex bumping up against the pace truck there. I'm not unconvinced that Junior isn't up in the truck, giving him a hard time. Pace truck will pull off in just a moment. There you see the blue F-150 pace truck coming off the track. The field lining up single file as Truex gets ready to lead us to a green flag start. Lap 32 of 195. Green, green, green. Truex, King, and Hamlin screaming down to turn 1. Martin Truex Jr. racing hard with Kevin King. Kevin trying to get a run underneath Martin as they come through the tri-oval. Martin doesn't allow him to get there. There goes King looking again, coming down to turn 1, trying to get his nose underneath the number 2 Chevy Silverado of Martin Truex, but he's not able to do it. And here he comes, Kevin King driving hard coming out of turn 2. Down the back straightaway, he's going to get him this time as they go into 3 side by side. And we got a 3-way pass as here comes Denny Hamlin at the line. Trying to get past Martin Truex Jr. Truex all over the back bumper of the number 29, trying to make the outside groove work, but he's unable to do so. As the 99 of Hamlin pushes around and takes the position. So in one lap, Truex has jumped from first to third. There goes Kevin King, your new leader here on lap 35. We continue with our green flag racing here at the Light Grill 300. Our pole sitter back out in the lead, Kevin King, but being hounded by last week's winner, Denny Hamlin. Denny in that number 99 Chevy Silverado, pushing hard. They had a incident in practice right after they got off the hauler when were unable to get the correct paint job on that truck of the 99. So they're running just the standard Team Hamlin paint job. Next week we expect to have the correct paint job on there. In the meantime, we're going to cycle back through the field. There's your third place driver right now, Martin Truex Jr. in the number 2 Chevy Silverado. Fourth place, Chris Shearburn, your overall points leader in the number 36 truck. Fifth place, Mike Wachowski in the 21 with Darren Stevens all over his back bumper, trying to make a run in the 44 Stevens Racing Chevy. There's Darren right there. And directly behind Darren is the number 1 of Jeff Supta. And caution is out again. Caution is out on lap 39 of 195. We're going to step away here for just a moment to a commercial break. And we'll be right back to let you know what brought out the caution on lap 39 of 195.
Reebok to send us Terry Tate. Some people thought we were crazy, but I'm a firm believer in paradigm breaking, outside the box thinking.
Anyway.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
And since Terry's been with us, our productivity has gone up 46%. We're getting more from our employees than ever before.
You know you need a cover sheet on your GPS reports, Richard! That ain't new, baby! Hey, Janice!
But what's really impressed me is how Terry's become part of the Felcher family. He fits right in here.
That's a long distance call, Doug!
To be honest, I wish Reebok sent us 10 Terry Tates.
You want to play game sheet? Well, when it's game time, it's pay time, baby! Oh!
Four out of 5 dentists surveyed would recommend Trident for their patients who chew gum. But what about the 5th dentist?
Yes.
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 One thing's for sure, long-lasting Trident is good for teeth.
I love with the twins. And the twins.
You know, Dale, UPS drivers are among the safest drivers in the world. That's fantastic. Well, I'm proud to say that in all my years driving a UPS vehicle, I haven't had one single accident. Good. Have you ever been in an accident in your UPS vehicle?
Maybe a couple.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll mark that as an area for improvement.
They weren't all my fault.
Not his fault.
Yeah.
And we're here with the 55 of Jason Walker. Jason, just a moment ago, I know we're getting ready to go back green racing. You and the 21 got together. It looked like your truck started to get away from you just a little bit in that high groove. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, I was just bad loose on new tires going into turn 1 on the restarts. And I was just trying to save it there, and the 21 was underneath me. He didn't really have anywhere to go, so apologize to him, but just trying to save it there and couldn't keep it.
How's your ride looking right now? You climbed up in the standings several positions after last week, 13 positions to 13th overall. You had a great run last week. Is this truck going to get you through the show this evening, do you think? Is it still ready to go?
It's pushing pretty bad. Probably top 15 for all I can get.
Well, good luck this race. We'll keep an eye on you, and hope no more excitement comes your way.
Thanks.
And we're going green. Green flag racing once again here. Lap 42. I take that back. Got wrong information. We are not going green. We're going, the lights have gone out. Getting ready to go green. Running with the number 59 of Herman Reese right now in the Kingsford Dodge. And now, green, green, green. Green flag is waving as Herman Reese, followed by TJ Majors, goes flying down into turns 1 and 2. That's a battle in the 15th and 16th position. Majors able to get underneath Herman. We're still green now on lap 43 of 195. Folks, I hope you can see what we can see as these trucks are diving all over the place. Right now we're looking at the 59 of Reese, the 27 of Mooney, the 7. The 7 is Ken Carlin. Not sure who he's subbing for this race. Driving the number 7 truck. This is this gaggle of trucks we're looking at right here. There's the 27 of Brian Mooney. Currently now riding with the number 3 truck. That's normally driven by Dale Earnhardt Jr. But tonight, it's being qualified and raced by John Gorlinski. Gorlinski raced for Truex last week and was able to pull out a top 10 finish in that vehicle. Right now, the number 3 is running in 11th place. Now on board with the number 44 of Darren Stevens. Darren in 10th position. I'm sorry, Darren's lost that position. He's lost it to the number 97. That's Harrison Donovan in his Ford F-150. There's the 97. As they go 3 wide coming down to the tri-oval. That's Stevens in the center. Then Donovan, then the 8 of Chris Main. Just getting a little love tap there from Brett Rupert, and the caution's out. We'll see if we can determine what brought that out on lap 48. Caution out again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Lycro Racing 300. Here we are riding, folks, with the number 21 of Greg Moore. Oh, Greg Moore hits the wall trying to run the outside line. He comes down onto the 27, but he bangs the wall pretty hard. That's going to tear up that vehicle. Not as much damage as I had expected, so caution out again. We're going to try to grab a driver or two real quick, see how their race is going. Herman Reeds is doing the lambada on getting in. Here we are with Vince Moore in the number 21 Reese's Chevy Silverado. Vince, that looked like a wicked smack on the outside wall there. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's been a rough night tonight. Truck seems to be a little loose on these early runs, and I tell you, there's not much room for error out here. You get a little bit off, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, it looked like when you brushed the wall, Mooney was already trying to make his move, the 27 truck, and or just running the low line, maybe not as low as he could, but certainly not out of the low groove. And when you brushed the wall, just really threw you down, and you touched him, and it looked like you got the worst for wear. And then as we were following you down pit road, did my eyes deceive me, or were there some trucks sideways on pit road?
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there. The truck sitting sideways in front of me, and I tried to go below him, and it seemed like I might have got tagged there too. It's just been a long night. We'll try to salvage what we can here.
Well, currently you're in 32nd position, 50 laps into this thing, but we're looking at your truck right now, and it looks like it's in great shape. So good luck for the rest of the night, and hope no more excitement comes your way.
Thank you.
That's Vince Moore in the Chevy Silverado, number 21. We're on lap 51 of 195. So we're back live, riding with Martin Truex Jr. and the number 2 Silverado, followed behind Kevin King. There's your race leader right there, number 29. Lights are out on the Ford F-150 as we get ready to go green here in just a moment on lap. What lap are we on? 52. Lap 52 of 195. Hopefully we can get some green flag racing in. Our running order right now, top 5 is Kevin King, Martin Truex, Chris Main, and the lights are back on the truck. The caution lights came back on. We had the 1 to go signal, but the lights came back on. Not sure what happened there. The truck to the inside that you see right there is the number 81 of Kevin Iannarelli. There's Kevin right there. He is 1 lap down, at least 1 lap down. Actually, he is 10 laps down. We have 2 trucks out of this race, the number 6 and the number 15. Lights still on the pace truck. So going back through the field, Kevin King, your leader, Truex Jr. in second position, Chris Main in third. Your fourth place driver right now, Darren Stevens. In fifth place, the number 7 of Kevin Carlin. Sixth place is the number 50, Burt Jenner in the number 50. Then the number 3 of John Gorlinski. John currently in the 7th position. The 36 of Chris Shearburn in 8th. The 99 of Denny Hamlin in 9th. And Jeff Supta rounding out the top 10. We move back to the front of the field. Lights out one more time on the pace truck. Hopefully we'll get the green flag start this time and not waved off. As you see there, pace truck is in. Yellow is out, waiting on the green. Green flag is waving as Kevin King takes us to turn 1. Single file all the way back to the field. Top 3 drivers quickly around the number 81 of Kevin Iannarelli. There goes the 7 around as well. Trucks continue to battle and stream past Kevin. 10 laps down, just trying to pick up some points, see if anybody else drops out. The 50 of Jenner, the 3 of Gorlinski. Riding with Chris Main in his Dodge Ram Tough Red Balls truck. Chris is currently, I'm sorry, I've been calling that Chris Main, and it's actually Mike Gillette. I apologize. Chris had the flu and had to get a sub-driver at the last second. We didn't get the notice here until just now. So Mike is in the number 8. This evening, currently running in the 3rd position. Directly behind him is Darren Stevens. Directly in front of Mike is the number 2 of Martin Truex and the number 29 of Kevin King. Great battle here in 7th position between Bruce Jenner, Chris Shearburn, and Denny Hamlin. Jeff Supta and Mike Wachowski making up the balance of this battle right now. See all those drivers tightened up there. And Supta trying to push Hamlin low. The 11 of Brad Davies also trying to mix it up. In fact, Davies getting down and underneath the 21 of Wachowski. There's Jeff Supta and the 21 racing side by side directly behind Hamlin. This is a battle for the 10th and 11th place position. Here comes Brett Rupert up into the mix of things. Last week, Brett Rupert in the number 60, which is the truck with the big Coca-Cola on the hood and the Canadian flag on the back. Finished 6th overall, directly in front of Dan Denaire and just behind John Gorlinski as these trucks run 2 by 2. Boy, the field is just streaming by the 21. I don't know if he's just stuck in that outside groove or what's happening, but We now have several positions passed. He's all the way back to the 13th as the 97 of Donovan passes, and here comes the 30 of Dan Denayer. There goes Brett Rupert as well, trying to make a run for it. All these drivers pressing down through the tri-oval. Here comes the 27 of Brian Mooney, followed by the 55 of Jason Walker. Jason, as you remember, was up in 4th place when his truck got just a little loose and the 21 tacked him and put him in the wall. Not really the 21's fault there, in my opinion. The 55 just got a little loose. The 21 got a little squirrely. And oh, the 21 and the 30 battling hard as they go from the top of the line down to the bottom. Denayer trying to make a move. The 21 finally frustrated up in that high line, cuts down through traffic across the nose of the 50 of Jenner and the 60 of Rupert. Denayer leading the way as they follow the 97 of Donovan. And I don't think this battle's over yet, as there goes the 21 of Wachowski. He's trying to get a run on the 30 of Dan Denayer. This is again a battle for the 13th position. Denayer has it. Wachowski wants it. In fact, Wachowski at one time was all the way up to 9th and dropped these 4 or 5 positions. And there goes Denayer trying to make an outside move on the 97 of Donovan. Trying to make that outside work here at one of these Brian Ring tracks. This is a modified Atlanta Speedway track for the Truck Series here in the NASCAR 2003 simulation. The Brian Ring modifies and edits the grooves. Remember, the drivers work on the setups. And there they go, trying to push around Donovan as the 30 of Denayer decides that riding up there with the number 7 of Carlin is not going to be the fast way to get around. And he's right. He dips down underneath the 7 of that Chevy Silverado. Wachowski following, Rupert following as well, as Denayer makes the move past. We move back up into the field just a little bit, following the battle here between Brad Davies, John Gorlinski, and Jeff Supta. There's the number 1 Chevy Silverado Decor Noir of Jeff Supta. This is a battle right now for the 8th position as these vehicles all come charging right at you. What a great shot. Supta running that high line, trying to get a run on the outside there of Gorlinski. He's running hard. He just can't seem to make it happen. I think he's got as fast or faster a truck. Coming across the start-finish line there. 8th place. Battle rages on. Lap 66 of 195, 70 degrees here in Atlanta. Brad Davies leading this pack. Brad is in this green Craftsman Chevy Silverado, number 11. There he is right there, filling your screen. Just to the outside of Brad is the number 8 of Mike Gillette, and here they go 3 wide as Dan Denayer tries to take it 3 wide with Mike the sandwich in between of him and Supta. Supta decides to push on through. Just stands on it, and here comes Wachowski trying to battle through with Denayer. Man, what a great battle for position back here in 10th place. Meanwhile, up front, King's still our leader, but Martin Truex has been forced out of the groove. And here comes last week's winner, Denny Hamlin, right there in the number 99. And our points leader, number 36, Chris Shearburn, pushing to the front. They've come up from the 4th and 5th place position to take over 2nd and 3rd. There's Chris Shearburn in the Thomas Super Wheel sponsored Chevy Silverado. Your leader, though, is still Kevin King in the juniors race place, number 29 Silverado, leading the way. Chevy's dominating this race so far. Martin Truex falling back from 2nd place to 4th place. We're going to step away for just a moment here on lap 70 of 195 at the Light Grill 300 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Your leader, Kevin King. We'll be back in just a moment.
You missed a spot.
What's strength meaning? Politics is right, isn't it?
Perfectly, your biggest problem is.
And your Visa card. Is everywhere you want?
NASCAR's official financial services provider. Step up.
So I was like at home having like a really lame time. So I used my Boost mobile phone to two-way my friends. And she's like, want to go to a banging party, yo? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, can we two-way Alicia? And I'm like, hell yeah. And now we're all at this banging party and get 10 times as nasty.
Let's go. People ring. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back.
And we're live back here at the Light Grill 300. Coming to you from Atlanta Motor Speedway. While we took that brief break, the 29 of Kevin King has burned up his tires or lost the pace or something. We're watching Kevin right now. Our new leader is the 99 of Denny Hamlin, followed closely by the 36 of Chris Shearburn. And here's the distance. There's the distance. You see it right there all the way back to that orange car, that red car just coming into your screen there at the bottom of your screen here in just a moment of Kevin King from leading the race to slipping all the way back there on lap 78 of 195. And caution is out. See if we can find what caused this to happen. Riding with the number 27 of Brian Mooney, and Brian just loses it. The truck just got away from him. Coming out of 4, spinning down the front straightaway, just a slight smack on the wall there. Knocking him back down into the apron. I don't know what happened there. Lap 79 of 195, but I know a lot of drivers are going to be wanting to get to the pits. Pit road's going to be open here in just a moment. And here come our leaders. The 36, no! They make like they're going to pit, but they don't. I'm not sure what kind of move that the 36 and the 21 were messing around with as they come down pit road here. Looking at the 29 of, there's pit road right there as it's gotten busy quick. Kevin King first off, it looks like. Followed by Martin Truex, then Chris Shearburn, Brad Davies, Jeff Supta being shown in the 3rd place position. See how this all sorts out here in just a minute. Some drivers stayed out to pick up some points. Ricky Harden being one of them. And let's see, that's the 86. I'm sorry, it's not the 86, it's the 98. I'm dyslexic, as you can tell. 98 of Dean Crandall. And I believe that Dean is the leader of this race, so he stayed out to pick up the points. I'm sure he'll pit next time by. Going to try to pick up a driver or two. We're riding with the number 2 Juniors Race Play Chevy Silverado of Martin Truex. Martin, you've been in the lead. You've been in the top 5 most of the evening. It's been pretty crazy out there so far. How's the race going for you?
I was just trying to run my own race. Some guys in a hurry already, so got a long ways to go yet. Just going to stay here and ride.
Yeah, we've already seen a little bit of that. Some of the drivers getting impatient, smacking the wall, smacking each other. There's some great racing going on up front, at least from a fan's perspective. Some positions swapping around. It looked like the 29 burned his tires up just a little while before that restart. I'm sorry, just before that caution, and you guys were pulling them in and driving away. Are you trying to save your tires out there?
Yeah, tire wear's pretty bad here. We're just trying to save our tires and wait till about the last 50 to race.
Good deal. Well, hopefully next time on Speed Channel, you'll be able to tell Jeff that you won the race, and Junior wasn't even there to dispute it. Thanks for talking to us this evening. We'll see you at the end of the race.
All right, man. We appreciate it.
And that's Martin Truex racing with us as we get ready to go green here on lap 83 of 195. Lights are out. Pace truck's going to be pulling off here in just a moment. And Ricky Harden in the number 5 Suncoast Chevy Silverado is going to be leading us to the green flag. Remember, he stayed out on old tires, green, 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 and there he goes. He spun the tires, spun them and went high as 29 and the 2 have a drag race trying to get down. And there goes the 5 in the Suncoast Chevy. And blazing right past is the 29, the 2, the 36, and the 11, all streaming past the 5 of Harden, who's dropped at least 8 or 10 positions, And there goes Kevin King around the lapped truck of Kevin Iannarelli. There's Martin Truex in the number 2, and directly behind them, Brad Davies and Chris Shearburn. There's Chris Shearburn in the number 36 Chevy Silverado Thomas Super Wheels. And Brad Davies in the number 11 Juniors Race Place Chevy Silverado. Lap 85 of 195. Quick rundown of your top 10. First place, of course, is the number 29 of Kevin King. Second place is the number 2 of Martin Truex. Third is Chris Shearburn. Fourth, Brad Davies. Fifth is the 97 of Harrison Donovan. Sixth is the number 3, driven this evening not by Dale Earnhardt Jr., but by John Gorlinski. Dan Denaire all the way up to 7th place in the number 30 Chevy Silverado, followed by Jeff Supta. Then the number 21 of Mike Wachowski. And the number 8 of Mike Gillette. In fact, I think Mike in the number 8 is the only Dodge. Let me check my list here. Is the only Dodge in the top, nope, 97. 97's got a Ford up there. So we've got 1 Ford and 1 Dodge. All the rest are Chevys up there in our top 10. Lap 87 of 195. Scheduled to run. Not a cloud in the sky right now. There's that Ford F-150. And here comes a Chevy Silverado of Dan Denaire and John Gorlinski trying to make a sandwich as they go 3 wide down through the tri-oval. That doesn't work very well. Wisely, Gorlinski backs out of it as that Ford F-150 of Harrison Donovan being a roadblock right now. Here comes the 21 of Mike Wachowski. They're trying to go 3 wide right now again. Harrison running that middle groove, trying to make that truck as wide as possible. Dan Denaire drove around the outside not only of the 97, but also of the 11 of Brad Davies, and took 2 positions away as he's working down the outside groove around Chris Shearburn. In 97 is throwing koozies out the window. He's throwing his hat out there. He's throwing Gatorade, everything he can. He's not throwing out his Smirnoff Ice, who's responsible. He touches the apron and pushes everyone up high. Almost wrecks Supta. Almost wrecks the 8 of Mike Gillette. And Gorlinski is able to get around him. Woo, that was a close one, folks. We almost had F-150 splattered all over the track. He's got that bad boy taped up. And coming into the picture right now is the number 27 of Brian Mooney. Brian in 9th place. As a result of all that shifting around, he's able to get a run on Jeff Supta. Supta slipping back to 10th. And there they go. Donovan now up in the high groove as trucks are beginning to stream by. Whoa, and Donovan whips down across the nose of Supta going through the tri-oval. Harrison is not prepared to give up the fight, battling hard, trying to hold on to that position, but he's slowly losing them one at a time. At one time, he was all the way up to 5th. He's now back to 9th as Supta and Brett Rupert drop down low, trying to get the pass around Harrison. Riding right now with the number 1 of Jeff Supta. Jeff takes over the 9th place position. But this battle isn't over yet, folks. In the meantime, Mooney's working over the 3 of Gorlinski as they all almost touched. No change up front. Still King, Truex, and Shearburn. Right here we have Gorlinski in the 3. Juniors race place, personal truck of Dale Earnhardt Jr. being substituted this evening. Substitute driver, rather, of John Gorlinski. Trailing directly behind the 21 of Mike Wachowski, who is riding above the 11 of Brad Davies. Folks, we're 2 by 2 from first place all the way to, gosh, I guess about 10th place there, as Shearburn gets underneath Truex. Martin running and still in second place by a nose, but Chris Shearburn trying to get that Silverado of his out in front. Chris has got a little bit more tape on the grill than Martin. Still running side by side here on lap 94. Dan Denaire and Brad Davies running right behind this group. Saw a truck going down towards pit road. We'll see if we can get a report on that. And Truex fights them off. Remember, it looked like he was going to drop back to 3rd or 4th, but he's able to pull away from Shearburn by a truck length as Shearburn follows in behind him. And here comes Dan Denaire. Remember, Dan restarted in 7th, fell back to 9th, and is now back up to 4th, running that outside groove with Brian Mooney pushing him, running side by side with Brad Davies. We're being told by race control that the number 5 truck of Ricky Harden has been wicked loose out on the track and driving dangerously. He's been cautioned that if he doesn't get the vehicle under control, if it's in undrivable condition, he must park the truck. And he's down on pit road. Looks like he's parking the truck or he's going to work on it, but the report we're getting is that he's probably going to park it. In the meantime, we're watching this battle up front here. They're 2 by 2 by 2. Check that. The 5 of Ricky Harden just got fresh tires. Fresh tires to get that thing back under control. Remember, Harden in the number 5 truck did not pit on the last pitch. He restarted and was quickly passed as he spun the tires on the restart. Currently riding in the cockpit of the number 1 of Jeff Supta. Jeff in 5th place position. Directly ahead of him is the Juniors Race Place Chevy Silverado of Brad Davies. In 4th, all these first 5 vehicles are running single file. There's an outside right shot of out the right window of Jeff Supta. Looking at Dan Denaire. And here's looking out the right window of John Gorlinski at the 30 of Denaire to his front and the 27 of Mooney to his back. Right now we're looking out the rear bumper of John Gorlinski in the number 3 truck, running in 7th position. And caution is out, folks. Caution is out on lap 100 of 195. We'll step away for a commercial break, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
You know, Dale, UPS UPS drivers are among the safest drivers in the world. That's fantastic. Well, I'm proud to say that in all my years driving a UPS vehicle, I haven't had one single accident. Good. Have you ever been in an accident in your UPS vehicle? Maybe a couple. Oh, okay, well, we'll mark that as an area for improvement.
They weren't all my fault.
Not his fault.
You know, Buck, I'm thinking about letting DW drive the old Aaron string machine.
Really?
Yeah,
He is your brother.
he is.
Former champion.
3 times.
Won a lot of races.
About 1,000.
Besides, he'd love it.
He would.
So you gonna let him?
Say yes to this side-by-side refrigerator at the guaranteed lowest price, and you're pre-approved. Do the math. Shop Aaron's.
We'll get DW something nice for Christmas instead.
Yeah, great idea, Bob.
I'll call you when I get to LA.
I think you forgot something.
This isn't mine.
The 500 horsepower Dodge Ram SRT10. The fastest production truck in the world.
That's a rough sport. So physically demanding with all that jumping. Everyone's just so aggressive. There's just way too much pushing and shoving under the net. I mean, come on, guys. Someone's gonna get hurt.
Live from Bristol.
Can't wait for this summer's Olympic Games.
Even odds.
Neither can we. Visa, the only card accepted at the Olympic Games.
All right, here's what brought out the last caution. The number 80 being tracked closely by the 88 of Tom Wygant, Tom Oliver, in the Just Racing Chevy Silverado. Looked like the 88 got close to him, didn't actually touch him, but the 80 lost a little air, did a little spin down the tri-oval, looks like there, and so you see the traffic splitting him. Caution out. We were able to track down the number 80, Tom Oliver. And we were fortunate enough to grab him real quick before we get ready to go green. Tom Oliver, do we have you in here in the booth with us? No, we don't. Microphone not out. We'll have to try to hook up with Tom in a few minutes. So we're going to go back live here, lap 100 of 195. Lights are out as we get ready to go green. Quickly, a rundown. Your current leader is a 33 of Roger Voss, but he has since pitted. Roger just stayed out to pick up some extra points. So Kevin King, Martin Truex, the 11 of Brad Davies and Jeff Supta, followed by the 27 of Brian Mooney, John Gorlinski, Chris Shearburn back to 8th, the 7 of Ken Carlin, and 10th place is Dan Denayer. Green flag is waving, green, 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 as Kevin King continues to lead this race, leaving Martin Truex in 2nd place. Ooh, Brad Davies brushes the wall on that restart. Doesn't seem to hold him up as he gets around the lap truck of Kevin Iannarelli there. Here comes Supta in 4th place. Supta wanting to get around. Let's see if we can take a look at that number 11 truck. Doesn't seem to be damaged too much, but he sure brushed that wall coming out of turn 2. We're getting a report that the 88 of Tom Wygett's way off the pace. Must have had some debris on his tires. Field splitting around him as we go back to green flag racing. The battle right now, one of the most intense battles right now on the track, is right here between 1st and 2nd position. That's Martin Truex and Kevin King. The 11 of Davies is tracking right behind them. Let's see if we can get a report on Denny Hamlin. Denny was leading this race and running up front there for a while. Not sure what happened to him. Supta now tracking back up with Davies. And the number 27 of Brian Mooney. Brian all the way back up to 5th position. We got a big wreck. Caution out. Caution's out. Big wreck out on the track. We're going to see if we can go find out what it is. And here we are. We're going to watch. Looks like the 97 and the 8 are going to come together. Oh, the 8 hard into the wall. And here comes another 8 tumbling down the front straightaway, rolling on his hood. Here comes several more. There goes the 21 of Wachowski. The 67, the 80 of Oliver. See if we can find some of the vehicles involved in that incident. Just tore up. The 80 truck just made it through that mess. There's the 88 of Wygant, the 21 of Moore going back by. They're all passing up the 46. Some of these trucks made it through. Most of them made it through, but the 8s got all tore up. Last week's second place finisher, TJ Majors, here's his ride through this excitement. TJ running here in the 15th position at the time, just ahead of him. The 97 and the 8 are going to get together. Boom, there goes the 8, and here comes the 17 with a hello, how are you? Oh! Lost his engine. Spinning down the straightaway. Man, that's one way you do not want to see Atlanta. Back out on the track, carnage everywhere. The 5 making it by, the 60 caught up in that. And the number 17 truck of TJ Majors is going to be out of this event. Woo, what a ride. Lap 111 of 195. Your leader, Kevin King, followed by Martin Truex, the 11 of Brad Davies, the 1 of Jeff Supta, the 27 of Brian Mooney in 5th position. John Gorlinski in 6th, Chris Shearburn in 7th, Mike Wachowski in 8th. The number 97 of Harrison Donovan, one of the trucks involved in that last incident. And the 55 of Jason Walker, who was involved in that early caution, all the way back up to 10th position. Folks, we were able to catch up with Denny Hamlin real quick. We're just about to go green. Denny, that 99 was all the way up front and flying, and we notice now that you've dropped back a little ways. Can you give us a status real quick before we go green?
Yeah, it looks like I got some engine damage there. I warped out and ended up going back to desktop and just try to salvage a top 10 finish here. It's probably the best we'll be able to do in the draft. Hopefully we can just bring it on home.
Man, tough break. I hate it when that happens. We hope you have a great finish. We're getting ready to go green. We're going to let you go back now. Thanks, Denny, very much. Pace truck is off. Green flag is out. Green, green, green. As once again, Kevin King leads us to turn 1. Martin Truex immediately trying to make a move to the outside. Coming into turn 2, Kevin able to hold him off. Brad Davies also running that high line, trying to not only get around the number 81 of Kevin Iannarelli, who's a lap or 2 down, but there goes Truex trying to carry that momentum as they come into turn 3. King's not letting him have it, though. He's running the low line. Across the start-finish line they go, lap 114 of 195. The 27 of Brian Mooney restarted this race in 4th. He's already lost 1 position to Jeff Supta. And John Gorlinski's working on the outside of him now, trying to get that position back. John, of course, subbing in Dale Jr.'s car. Sorry, Dale Jr.'s truck, Chevy Silverado, number 3. Directly behind them is Chris Shearburn. And the number 36 Chevy Silverado, Thomas Super Wheels. And right behind Chris is Mike Wachowski in his www.fishme.com sponsored Chevy Silverado. Behind them, Harrison Donovan, and then the 55 of Jason Walker. Jason all the way back up to 10th place, restarted in 10th, still there. The 20 of Don Knapp working on Jason right now, trying to get a run around him. There's Denny Hamlin right now running in 12th position. Right behind him is Tom Wygen. Out of the race is Mike Gillette, TJ Majors, Chris Main, the 14 of James Bowser is out, the 59 of Herman Reese is out, and the 15 of Shane Meal, first truck out in 35th position. Watching a great battle right now is Denny Hamlin, low on power, still trying to battle for position. And 11th trying to get 10th as he goes underneath Jason Walker, trying to follow the hole that Harrison Donovan's creating. Oh, and off the wall. Big wreck. There's the 44 of Stevens spinning. Brett Rupert hits him. I caught that right out of the corner of my eye. I just saw a black top truck, it looked like, or dark truck of some sort spinning down the track. We'll see if we can catch that real quick and see what happened. Here on lap 118, you're looking at the number 88 of Tom Wygen. Tom just drifts right up into the 81 of Kevin Iannarelli. Just drifts right up into him and collects Darren Stevens. Darren collects Brett Rupert. And Tom trying to get back up to speed. Boy, just the wrong place at the wrong time for Darren Stevens, I'll tell you what. There's absolutely nothing wrong there. The 88 just lost it, went up and collected them in that incident. Lap 118 of 195. We're back live. We're going to try to catch up with Darren Stevens here as the whole field comes into pit. You're watching the entire field pit right now. Our leader coming in was Kevin King in the number 29. Brad Davies. Oh, big mess as Martin and a number of other drivers spin each other coming off the line. Tom Oliver got spun. Oh, wow. A number of drivers spun each other coming off the pits, but we're with the 44 of Darren Stevens. Stepping into the booth with us is Sean Souls this evening. Sean is one of the officials. Sean and Jenny Souls are running the officiating duties this evening here at the Light Grill 300. Sean, we've had some long green flag runs, and then we've had some craziness out there. How are things looking from your perspective?
Pretty much the same. They need to learn that after a pit stop and they get them fresh tires, they're going to be a little loose going in them corners, and that's what it seems like a lot of the problems in. A few self-spins, a lot of contact, people in the wall. It looks like a big bristle.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not driving down there. Just a moment ago on pit road, I saw a number of vehicles look like tangled up and spun around out there. Did you happen to see that?
Yeah, I did. People trying to get out of their stall, and Jeff Soup in the one came out of his stall, and the 80 was on the outside of him, and everybody just checked up, contact, the 80 got spun, but it's all good.
Unless, of course, you're in the 80. Sean, thanks so much for your officiating tonight, for joining us in the booth. Good luck. We've got a ways to go, another 73 laps remaining. I don't envy your job. I get to yell at him with the microphone, but I don't have to do anything else. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
We're back here with Kevin King. Kevin is currently being shown in the second place position, the 21 of Bukowski. We're waiting to see if he only took 2 tires or no tires. The lights are off on the pace truck. So it's not the 21 of Bukowski, it's the 21 of Moore. So Moore stayed out. So this should be that's a vehicle we want to watch on the restart here. With these old tires, it's not uncommon, folks, that when the green flag drops, they apply the power, and that back end's light enough already. You see 29 at Kevin King hanging back a little bit. He's not trying to get a jump. He's trying to avoid anybody pulling to the right or to the left, as happened last restart. And the green flag is out. Green, green, green. Clean restart by Moore in the 21. Nice restart. But I have a feeling he's not going to be holding on to that lead very long. As Kevin King, Ricky Harden there in the number 5 Sunco. Oh, and 21 starts to lose it. Gathers it back up. I don't believe the caution came out. No, the caution did not come out. Oh, and now it does. Oh, what a wreck. Oh, huge, huge contact. Truck spinning and flipping. Wygant, Rupert. Oh, that was horrible. The 21 destroyed. They're still wrecking. Unbelievable. There's the 60 of Brett Rupert. Let's see if we can cue up what happened here. Remember, the 21 of Moore had stayed out. To get some points, and looked like he lost control a little bit of his vehicle and was way off the pace. We're riding with the 88 of Tom Wygant. The 21 is checked up. He's off the pace. Here comes Wygant. Wygant drifting up a little bit behind the 44 of Darren Stevenson. Oh, what a huge crash. Look at those trucks tumbling and tumbling. Oh, my goodness. Scrap metal, folks. We just saw scrap metal made. And Jack Daniels on the side. That's not pretty. There's, again, the 60 Coca-Cola Brett Rupert. Not a very nice Canadian welcome. Or welcome to our Canadian friends there. And again, the 80 of Tom Oliver makes it through that carnage. Riding now with the 67 of Greg Moore. That was the 21 of Vince Moore that was caught up in that. So caution again, lap 124, as they say on TV, cautions breed cautions. we've been able to grab a hold of Tom Wygent coming out of the infield care center. Tom, what a wild ride we just rode with your truck as we went tumbling and tumbling down the track there, off the inside retaining wall and back out onto the track. What happened from your point of view?
I'm not sure what exactly happened. All I seen was a big 21 Reese's as I exited that corner, and we became one car, it looked like, and we tumbled down the track.
You became Reese's Pieces.
Exactly. We became a couple Reese's Pieces.
Man, don't you know those things don't mix? It's like I got one of those Reese's Blizzard things from DQ. I thought my brain was going to fall out of my head. It about killed me. But it didn't look as painful as your ride did. How was your race going up to that point?
I was struggling. I was doing all right, just staying out of trouble. And then I did bring out a caution a few laps prior to that, which I was letting Dan go, and I got into Darren Stevens above me. I didn't know he was there, so I apologized for that. And just trying to keep my nose clean. You know, this is 3 weeks in a row I've been wrecked out of these races, so points are really struggling right now.
Well, we hope you get that vehicle back on the track next week and get it together. Thanks for joining us in the booth. Glad to hear you're okay, and we'll see you next week.
Great job as always, you guys, and thank you for doing this. And good luck to everyone else that's still in there.
That was Tom Wygent in the number 88. Little beat up, little sore, but hanging in there, going to be with us next week. Well, our leader, as you see the lights out on the pace truck, the number 29 of Kevin King, surprise, surprise. Brad Davies in second, followed by Jeff Supta in third, John Gorlinski up to fourth, Martin Truex in fifth, and Brian Mooney, it looks like, in sixth place. Pit road empty. Everybody's off. Down in the low line there is the number 5 of Ricky Harden. Directly behind him is Kevin Iannarelli. Kevin's truck's in a little bit better shape than that number 5. You can see the fuel cell in the 5. The officials have warned the pace cars or the lapped vehicles to go easy here as we get ready to restart on lap 127 of 195. Kevin King restarting up. Green flag is waving. We are back under green. Hopefully we can get some green flag races in. Green flag laps, rather. Brad Davies had an excellent restart there. Boy, I thought he was going to grab King. King had to throw a block up, come up to the high groove, and there goes Supta, almost loses it coming out of turn 2, and it's everything Gorlinski can do to keep from wrecking him. Martin Truex all over the back of this as well as they try to get underneath Supta coming down through the tri-oval. Supta in the number 1 Chevy Silverado able to hold him off for the moment, looking at the number 3 Dale's Junior Race Place, Gorlinski. Gorlinski gets a nose underneath the number 1, and Truex should be following that number 3 down there pretty quickly. Now, Supta's had a fast truck all race long, but it takes a few laps for these tires to get up to pressure, and no, Gorlinski's now falling off the pace. As the number 1 and number 2 pull away, Supta running that semi-high line. He runs a little bit higher than the other drivers for part of the track, and back down in the groove, and Truex there touches the apron and almost loses control, but he's able to hang on to it, gets underneath Supta. We'll see if he can make this pass stick. It's the same thing that Gorlinski tried but was unable to make happen as Jeff Supta continues to run that high line, running with the number 2 of Martin Truex right now. Directly above him is the number 1 of Jeff Supta, and directly behind him is the number 3 of John Gorlinski. John substituting for Dale Earnhardt Jr. this evening. This is a battle for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th position, as now Jeff is not able to make that high line work. Truex is around, and here comes Gorlinski trying to make it around him again. Remember, John tried earlier, wasn't quite able to make it. John had a great run at the end of last week's race, and there he goes around Supta. So Supta's going to drop back to the 4th place position. Right now we got a 2x2 action between Dan Denaire and Denny Hamlin. Denny, remember, was running a little light on power there. Not quite able to hold up. I think he was just able to get underneath Denaire because Denaire was being held up by the 21 of Wachowski. There's the 21 right there. The 30 of Dan Denaire. Dan is up to 8th position, been lingering around the top 10 most of this race. There's the 99 of Denny Hamlin. Denny up to 10th. Remember in his interview just a few moments ago, he was telling us that he was under power a little bit, just trying to salvage a top 10 finish out of this. On lap 133, he's accomplished that. Supta and John Gorlinski trying to work on Truex. Gorlinski had been looking underneath him, but not quite able to make a no stick. Martin running a semi-high line, goes in a little bit higher than these trucks into the turns, brings it down to the apron and back out a little higher. Seems to carry a little bit more momentum, but that's an enticing little target there for the 3 truck as he's looking to get down and around underneath him. He has to check up a little bit, and that, of course, draws the number 1 truck right up into him. As we continue the battle here, lap 135 of 195, 60 laps to go. Kevin King still our leader. I'm surprised we haven't heard more from Shearburn. There's Shearburn right there. And while we were up at the front, Denny Hamlin's made his way around. Oh, and Hamlin touches the apron and almost loses it up in the wall. Hamlin's made it around in that underpowered truck around the 30 of Dan Denaire, and now he's pushing up on, he's up to 7th from 10th, and he's pushing up on the 36 of Chris Shearburn on lap 136. In fact, Hamlin's pulling away a little bit from Denaire. He's got a truck length on him, and he's working on the 36 of Shearburn. Directly behind Hamlin is the 30 of Dan Denaire. That would be the 8th position. Then Brian Mooney. There's what your string of trucks looks like. Currently riding with the number 97 of Harrison Donovan. Harrison in the 11th place position. Right behind him is the 55 of Jason Walker. And the 20 of Don Knapp. Green flag racing here on lap 138 of 195. Dan Denaire trying to get back around the 99 of Hamlin. Dan in 8th position. He wants the 7th position from Hamlin. Hamlin last week's winner. Dan Denaire trying to, let's see, he's climbed in the overall point standings. Let's see if we can find that here. Dan Denaire has climbed all the way up, increased by 10 positions, all the way up to the 8th place position overall. And right up front, Martin Truex takes a 2nd place position from Brad Davies. So the only change up front is Martin Truex and Brad Davies have swapped positions, but then we've got Kevin King still leading. John Gorlinski in fourth, Jeff Supta in fifth. Here at the back of the field, tore up in 22nd position is Darren Stevens. Ricky Harden running in the 23rd position, a lap down. The 46 of Tony Legren, Tony, I apologize, in 21st position. Followed by the 67, Greg Moore leading this group. The 33, Roger Voss. The 81 of Kevin Iannarelli, then Tom Oliver in 18th position, the Just Racing number 80. Dean Crandall, the number 98. The 50 of Burt Jenner. 12 of Dave Long. Number 7 of Ken Carlin. Haven't talked much about Ken in 14th position, staying out of trouble. The number 20 of Don Knapp. '55 of Jason Walker. Jason just brushed the wall there again. 97 of Harrison Donovan. 21 of Mike Wachowski. This is in the 10th place position. Brian Mooney, currently running in 9th. Dan Denayer, 8th. Danny Hamlin still holding down the 7th place position, directly behind Chris Shearburn. Shearburn running, of course, in 6th. Directly in front of him is Jeff Supta in the number 1 truck. And we're back to the front with John Gorlinski in 3rd. Brad Davies in 3rd. Gorlinski's in 4th. Martin Truex in 2nd. And Kevin King in 1st place. Lap 146 of 195. Kevin King continues to dominate. King has led the most laps so far, but he really hasn't been able to pull away this race. Better than last week's showing. Last week, Kevin, I believe, finished 13th. Yep, 13th overall. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back at the Lycra Racing Atlanta 300.
You said you wanted to say something to somebody? Yeah, I wanted to give a shout-out to all the DMP board, Kevin King, the mayor, all the people on FLM. Want to give them a what's up. I think they're probably all watching right now. Take it easy. They'll be good to know, glad to know that the vibration that Tina was talking about, that Tony Senior was talking about at the beginning of the show, is now gone. Dave? And Matt, we heard his shout-out to Mark Jr. His son, very more positive. Who's the other group?
Oh, that's my buddies on DMP board, just friends of mine. All the guys on FLM, just the guys I race on the computer with all the time, and we have a lot of fun. But they're all watching, and
what can you tell them about this car? Is it a 10?
It don't drive as good as my car on the game does. It's pretty fun, but they.
I said, Joe, think of the family. It's comfortable. Not too big, not too small. Got a DVD. End of discussion.
I said, Liz, we need a man's SUV. And this thing feels like a son of a gun, and it's got a heavy.
Thank you.
The all-new Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power.
Joe completely understood.
Let's finally saw it my way. Soda?
The all-new Dodge Durango, starting under $26,600. Short looks, skin and top school cut. But my shirt even tired of stress across my big fat gut. But I try working hard to try to leave loose and wait for you. I'm burning with the sound, now I'm burning fat for a stack of two.
It's important to remember that the UPS driver always has a can-do attitude. You need a package in Akron? Can do. You need an important document in London? Can do. You need a package that... Okay, I think I got it.
Hey, you gonna race the truck?
No can do, ma'am. Can do, Tim. Can do.
The Gillette Young Guns. To me, shaving is just like racing. I'll do anything I can to get an advantage. So I use Mach 3 Turbo Champion from Gillette. It's the closest, most comfortable shave, even against the grain. It keeps me ahead of the competition.
What are you doing in my car? Nothing. What are you guys doing? Nothing.
Mach 3 Turbo Champion, the only razor used by the Gillette Young Guns.
Well, a big part of being a UPS driver is connecting with customers. Got it. Well, let's see. Hey, buddy, are you Jason King?
Yeah.
Got a package for you.
Cool. Thanks.
You betcha. Hi, Jason.
You're not racing the big brown truck, are you?
No, son, I'm not. You didn't connect.
No change in the front runners. Kevin King continues to lead us on lap 157 of 195. I say no change in the very front runners. We've had one change, and that is that Jeff Soup has dropped off the pace. When we left, he was in 5th place position. Currently, Jeff has dropped back to the 7th place. Chris Shearburn tracking these drivers down right now. He's got his eyes set on the number 3 at Gorlinsky. There's Chris Shearburn right there. That Thomas Super Wheel number 36 Chevy Silverado running him down. Wow, Chris closed about an 8-truck gap in just a few moments. And then we drop all the way back here to Denny Hamlin. Denny with the second pack of drivers. Denny up to 6th from 10th. Right now, drivers are just riding. They're either tore up or settled in or out of the race, one of the three. Here comes Harrison Donovan and Brian Mooney trying to make a run for it, trying to get up there with just 40 laps or so to go, 45 laps to go. This is a battle for the 8th, 9th, and 10th positions. Brian going way high, way up into the gray stuff. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but trying to carry some momentum through, but I certainly wouldn't deliberately go up that high. And there goes Donovan down and underneath the 30 of Denayer. Down across the start-finish line. And they're still letting them tough on the outside line there. Here comes Brian Mooney. So Harrison Donovan has taken 8th place away from Dan Denayer. truck down on the pit road there. I think that was Roger Dawson, the 33, who was involved in an earlier incident. And there goes Chris Sherburne making a pass around Martin Truex. And let's see, that's Truex drifting, falling back from second now down to fourth position. And now losing the fifth position, dropping all the way back to fifth. Orlinski not really able to hold on to this pack. And there's Sherburne up to third. Brad Davies, while we were watching Truex drift back, was able to get around Kevin King for the lead. Hey, that's the first time in the last 2 days that Kevin hasn't been in the lead. Davies able to get around, and Chris Sherburne has run them both down. And there goes Sherburne underneath the 29 of King, trying to make a pass. And he looks like he's going to make that happen as they go down the back straightaway and throw it into turn 3. No, not quite able to hold on to the momentum he had. King able to fight him off for one more lap. Chris certainly has a strong truck, though. Chris Sherburne in that Chevy Silverado against Chevy Silverado, and Kevin just lets him go. He's not willing to fight him that hard. I don't know that he had much for him at this point. Chris pretty much just came from about 8 truck lengths back behind this draft in 5th or 6th position and has run these drivers down. So he passes Kevin King. And keep in mind, this is a battle for the overall standings, and Kevin King has gone into pit on lap, green flag pit on lap 167 of 195. Sherburne's still out there running right behind Brad Davies. As I was saying, Chris Sherburne's the overall points leader by we're getting the word that there's a great battle going on back here in the 6th place position. We're looking at the 97 of Harrison Donovan. Oh, smoke on the track. I didn't see what happened, but somebody smoked him. Brad Davies smoked him going into the pits, and there was Walker bouncing off the wall again. Walker up to 7th place as we cycle through green flag pit stops. Driver's going to be in a lot of trouble if the caution comes out now. They do not want to see that happen. Ryan Mooney currently running in 6th. Suit in 4th. And there's Sherburne locking him up as he comes into the pits. Directly behind Chris is a 97 of Donovan. The 50 also on pit road, that's Jenner. The 46 of LeGren. We'll watch this pit stop here by Chris Sherburne, nice and smooth into his pit. There goes the 46 of LeGren. I used to think you pronounced it LeGren, but Tony has let me know it is not. In fact, it is LeGren. Sherburne, great stop. 4 tires back out on the track. Currently being shown in 7th place. There goes the Kevin King. Unlapping himself. Current driver being shown as the leader of this race is the number 3, Gorlinski. Once Chris gets up to speed, we'll see how things shake out. He was the leader when he pitted, so give us a good indication of how people's pit stops went. So our current leader is the number 99, Denny Hamlin, as we go through our pit cycle. I'm sure he'll be pitting soon. There's the 55 of Jason Walker on pit road. The 3 of Gorlinski coming into pit. take on fresh fuel and tires to get to the end of the race. Coming back out onto the track is the 46 of LeGren. The 29 of Kevin King up to 9th place position, still waiting for the remaining trucks to pit. Here comes Martin Truex. There's your leader right there, the green truck of Denny Hamlin. Martin Truex unlapping himself. The 27 of Brian Mooney has not yet pitted. He's battling here with Denny Hamlin, trying to take some bonus points. As far as I know, so far he has not yet been able to make that pass happen. Hamlin still stretching it out. We're guessing that when the pit stops are completed and everything cycles out, assuming that a caution does not come out, that the 29, who's about to unlap himself right now, should be about 4 seconds or so up on the 36 of Shearburn. So the 29 has unlapped himself. And is pretty much by himself right now. Leading the pack behind him is the 36 of Shearburn, followed by the 30 of Denayer. We're trying to check right now and see if the 11 of Brad Davies is pitted. Don't believe he has. Great battle going on here between the 36, the 3, the 30, the 50, and the 97. The word we're getting right now is that the second place truck of Brad Davies did in fact pit, but he only took 2 tires. Right now he's 3 seconds up on the third place truck of Kevin King. He took 2 right side tires, the number 11 did, which helped him with track position, but only for the short term probably. We're on lap 178 of 195, so we only have 17 laps or so to go. Our leader is now Brad Davies, as the 99 of Hamlin had to stop and get fresh stickers. 2.7 seconds up for the 11, 1.7 up on the 29. 29's coming fast. There's a battle for third right now between Chris Shearburn and John Gorlinski. Right behind them is Dan Denayer. That's third, fourth, and fifth. John Gorlinski sticking at number 3 juniors race place Chevy Silverado up underneath the back end of Shearburn's truck at number 36, which is leading the field there. Sorry, leading this pack. And trying to get him a little loose, but Shearburn's too savvy for that. Unless he touches him, he's not going to lose control of that truck. $15 laps to go. 15 laps to go. Lap 180 of 195. Our rundown real quick. There's a 29 of Kevin King taking over the first place position from Brad Davies. We knew that was just a matter of time. The 36 of Shearburn in third. The 3 of Gorlinski in fourth. The 30 of Dan Denayer is in fifth place. The 20 of Don Knapp is in sixth. The 97 of Harrison Donovan in seventh. Jeff Supta in eighth. The 55 of Jason Walker is up to ninth. And the 27 of Brian Mooney up to 10th place. Lap 182 of 195 completed and in the books. Now the field's caught Brad Davies as Brad goes high, trying to stay out of their way as they just stream on past. Orlinski pushing hard down, trying to get underneath 36 of Shearburn, but just not able to root him up and out of there. And if Orlinski doesn't push that hard, he's going to get the 30 of Dan Denayer pushing him out of the way. This is a battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth that we're looking at right now. The lead vehicle there is the 36 truck of Shearburn. Beautiful day here in Atlanta, 70 degrees clear, no wind. Not a cloud in the sky as these trucks continue to battle, and there in your picture you see the 29 truck of Kevin King. They're reeling them in. They're drafting right up to him, I believe. Let's see at the line what the interval is. They've cut half a second off of that time between themselves and the first place finisher, first place truck right now. And that is Kevin King. Last lap they were 0.89 seconds behind Kevin, so they're drafting hard trying to catch the 29. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do once they do catch him, or even if they'll have time. There's only 10 laps remaining. But at the line, our interval is another 0.3 of a second off. If they continue this pace, they'll catch him in 2 more laps. Coming up on the lap traffic of Roger Voss, and you can just watch these trucks tracking down King hard. This is Gorlinski and Shearburn in second and third. There's Kevin King. And the yellow is out. Caution is out. Caution is out with 8 laps to go. We're trying to cue it up here. It looks like the 80 of Tom Oliver and the 81 of Kevin Iannarelli got together. See if we can find that for you. And let's see here, coming into the tri-oval. Yep, they sure did. The 80 brushed the 81. Wasn't able to see who came into who. I'm sure the officials will sort that out. So on lap 186 of 195, caution is out. And here's an interesting sight. Everyone coming down pit road, all the leaders riding with Kevin King right now. We're going to see who's going to stay out. Looks like Legren is staying out. Mooney is staying out. Let's see, King is taking all 4 tires. How many laps are they going to have left? King off and running. There goes Shearburn in second. Next off the track is at a pit road is Gorlinsky. Then the 97, the 55, then the 1, then Truex, then the 2. Let's sort this out. Wow, I would have thought. So staying out on the track is, let's see here. Well, we'll wait and see how it sorts out here. They've got to come back by the starter's stand. And we'll see how this sorts out. Looks like Mooney stayed out. Hamlin stayed out. Carlin, I believe, also stayed out, although he just drove up and hit the wall. So our rundown, the 3 drivers that have stayed out in front of the lead pack, choosing not to pit on lap 189 of 195, is the 27 of Brian Mooney, the 99 of Denny Hamlin, and the 7 of Ken Carlin. They're trying to steal something here. These trucks were not in the top 5 when this caution came out. In fact, several of them really didn't have a vehicle to keep up with the leaders, but we'll see how they do now. Keep in mind that I saw all the leaders that I saw anyway pitting took all 4 tires. Nobody took right sides only, so it should be interesting. Certainly Mooney's loving it that the 99 and the 7 stayed out with him, because the 29, the 36, and the 3 have to work their way around him. Our rundown right now is Mooney, Hamlin, Carlin, then King, Shearburn, Gorlinsky, the 97 of Donovan, the 55 of Walker, the 20 of Don Knapp, and the 1 of Jeff Supta. Truex up to 11, or back to 11th place rather. We only have 16 trucks on the lead lap. The 98 is in 12th. The 80 is in 13th. Roger Voss back on the lead lap in 14th. The 21 of Bukowski is in 15th, and Dan Nair all the way back to 30th. I'm sorry, to position was that 15th, I believe. He dropped from battling for the 16th position. Wow, big drop there. Lights out, getting ready to go green again. On lap 190, we'll take the green flag on lap 191 of 195. 4-lap shootout. This may have just paid off for Brian Mooney. The leaders behind him are going to be hungry to make the pass quick and take their win that they feel like they earned. This is it, folks, getting ready to go green. Make sure those belts are pulled tight and you're in tight, because it's going to get silly fast. Brian Mooney on old tires leading us to the green flag. Green, green, green. Green flag runs. Denny Hamlin, and caution's out before we even get going. Caution is out again, and Denny Hamlin beat Mooney off of the line. Denny's going to try to get down there and block King. I don't know that he's going to be able to make that happen. He's going to block him all the way down if he can, but King's got the better tires coming out of turn 4. They're racing back to the line. They're going to touch. Hamlin's going to push him up, and Shearburn's going to try to get underneath and bang him as well, and it looks like King is going to pull that out. I think that King got back to the line first. Who's smoking up here? Martin Truex. Martin Truex is smoking big time. Let's see if we can find out what happened there. And here's the restart watching Martin Truex in the number 2. And the green flag is going to come out here in just a second. Oh, Truex spins it and goes up into the wall and collects the 21, the 80, the 50, the 67. Oh, my Lord, Carnage City. Oh, they're still ramming each other. Trying to back out of that mess. Yeah, Truex just spun the tires, went right into the wall. Oh, my goodness. 21 down there with Kowski. The 80, the 67. Greg Moore tore up. Tom Oliver tore up. That was not pretty. So we're going to finish under caution, I believe. And a lucky break there for a couple drivers, and that would be Denny Hamlin, Brian Mooney, and Ken Carlin, stealing top 5 finishes where there really wasn't anything there for those vehicles. Lap 193 of 195, so it looks like our the winner of this race is going to be Kevin King. You know, Martin Truex cannot be feeling good right now. So close. Just trying to get through this race. It had not been his race. He'd run up in the top 3 or 4 all race long. And on that restart back in 11, just on them fresh stickers, just spun those tires and went right up into the right side outside wall. And collected another 4 or 5 drivers behind him. So this is going to put Kevin King back out on top, I believe, from the unofficial standings. Currently, King is no, this will not put him. He's going to gain about 10 points on Shearburn, and right now he's about 26 points behind him. So Kevin will still be in second place. Shearburn will continue to be in first. Big loser is going to be TJ Majors, who's going to drop out of third position because he was at an earlier race. Denny Hamlin in fourth is going to probably pick up that position to third. Be interesting to see how the rest of these drivers shake out. Getting ready, for Denny Hamlin to be losing power, and white flag showing as they come by the start finish line now. Trying to limp over. There's our leader right there. Going to be our winner tonight as they come down the back straightaway. They take the final time through turns 3 and 4 in this race. That's Kevin King, Denny Hamlin, Chris Shearburn, Brian Mooney, Ken Carlin, John Gorlinski, Harrison Donovan, Jason Walker hoping for a top 10, got a top 8. Don Knapp in 9th, and Jeff Supra pulling out 10th. Roger Voss fought his way all the way back to 11th, Dean Crandall up to 12th, Davies in 16th, Denayer in 13th, LeGren in 21st. Get back up to our leader. Getting congratulated, being told he's number 1 by the 99 start-finish line. Little love tap there by Hamlin to the 29, and congratulations to Kevin King. The juniors race place number 29, Chevy Silverado, winner of the Lycra Racing 300 in Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, we did get green flag stops. We had some green flag racing. We had some not green flag racing. Just another day at the track here, the DMP Online Racing League. We apologize for the streaming difficulties. We'll continue to work on them. We're not sure what happened. Tested all week long, had absolutely no issues. And for some reason, we had a couple things we're working on. So we'll continue working on it. And there's your winner, Kevin King, lining them up. We'll be back in just a few moments as King tears up his truck with live post-race interviews, follow-ups, and more racing action. Please stand by.
Hey, how the hell are you? Welcome to Jack in the Box. I'm Jack, and I'll be happy to fill your order, if you know what I mean.
I'd like a Jack burger and a large fry.
Sorry, pal, we're cleaning the grease fire. We don't have any French fries today.
Oh, okay. Then just give me a small order of fries, please.
Look, Chief, maybe you didn't hear me. I said we don't have any fries today, so how about something else?
Oh, okay. Then give me an order of fries.
Listen up, pal. Who put the straw in strawberry?
Nature did.
That's right, nature did. Who put the ape in apricot?
Nature did.
That's right, nature did. Now listen carefully. Who put the freak in French fries?
There ain't no freak in French fries.
That's what I've been trying to tell you, butt breath. There ain't no freak in French fries. Now get out of my sight before I shove your teeth so far down your throat you'll have to sit on a Jack burger to eat it. Oh, have a nice day.
Give me a Bud Light. What's behind that suit? Telling me.
What? For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Hey, can I get one of those hot dogs? I don't think so.
Make it a Bud Light.
Hey, Dad, what's that?
That's a pink flamingo. Bullfrog.
What's that?
That son is a Chevy Monte Carlo.
If you want to see 700 horses under a hood, spend a day by the lake on the famous Daytona infield, but bring your Visa card, because you won't get in with American Express.
Isn't nature great?
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Joke on his friend, Bob inadvertently discovered a perfect method to see whether or not your best friend is a wuss. Watch.
Ay, no te acuerdas de conexión. Ahora le damos una
Sushi-Filme. Verwendet von Top-Fotografen auf der ganzen Welt.
And we're back live. The Lycra Atlanta 300. Your final running order of your top 10 was Kevin King, Denny Hamlin, Chris Shearburn in third, Brian Mooney fourth, Ken Carlin in fifth, John Gorlinski in sixth, Harrison Donovan in seventh, Jason Walker eighth, Don Knapp in ninth, and Jeff Supta rounding out the top 10 in 10th. Stand by as we bring you post-race interviews. And we're live with our Like Real Atlanta 300 winner, Kevin King. Kevin, what a race. How'd you do it?
Stayed out of every yellow possible. It wasn't that difficult having to yellow every 20, 25 laps.
Well, we did get one great green flag run in. We had green flag pit stops, and it looked like we were going to run green to the end. And after those pits, you came out with about a 4-second lead, 3.5-second lead. But the pack, particularly Gorlinski and Shearburn, ran you back down there. It looked like it was going to get exciting at the end until that last caution came out.
Yeah, I figured it'd be all draft towards the end, and I think Brad took 2, I took 4, and kind of got hung out there by myself for about 15, 20 laps, and was able to pass him, and then yellow came out before they got to trade me. So yeah, I knew the draft would come into a big part towards the end. I didn't think I was going to have enough there with no draft help.
Well, before it had a chance to get really exciting and see what those guys were going to do, the caution did in fact come out, and Mooney, Carlin, and Hamlin were out there in front of you when you guys restarted. You know, on restarts, traditionally, trucks that stay out have the older tires spin them. In fact, that's what brought out our last caution. But were you nervous at all as we got ready to go green that you might have to deal with that?
Yeah, I figured usually towards the end of races when you have about 5-lap shootout, you never get to run those 5 laps on the green. So I figured if I was going to do anything, it was just going to have to be in the first lap and coming to the yellow. And sure enough, I think Carlin got loose, and actually the leader got loose, and I think Denny had to check up, and I just floated all the way through.
Well, congratulations on your win. I know that there's plenty of it that was under caution, but there was also some great racing out there. I certainly was entertained. I know our audience was entertained. congratulations on your win, closing in on Shearburn to regain the lead. And great win, great run there at the end, and congratulations again.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Let's see if we've got our second place finisher in here. And that is, let's see, Denny Hamlin. Denny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Well, we got talking, and you were hoping for a top 10 with that sputtering motor of yours, and I think you made it.
I was very, very fortunate this race. I'll tell you, I really could have had a 15th place finish very easily. I had a good run there towards the beginning, running with Chris Shearburn. I mean, we worked together early in the race to try to save our tires. Then when we decided to come up through the pack, we could. Once I got to the lead, just kind of had one of them computer problems like Martin had at Daytona. It booted me back to the desktop, so I ended up hitting the wall and suffering some engine damage. But I tell you, I decided to stay out there with a 5-lap shootout. I was 12th, so I had really nothing to lose. So almost won the thing. Had a good run with Kevin there to the line.
Yeah, I don't know who was sputtering more, your engine or Kevin, when he saw you up there on that restart. I'm sure that was pretty exciting. It was amazing to us to look up and see you there with 3 laps to hold off 2 of the best in the business, in Kevin King and Chris Shearburn. Congratulations to at least hold off Chris. I think that if you another 100 feet, another 10 feet, and it would have been a different story. Chris was right there with you. Congratulations on pulling out a second place finish. You started on the outside pole, you finished on the outside pole.
Yeah, I definitely take this top 5 any way I could get it. I'll tell you, I could have finished a whole lot worse with a car with no damage, so I'll take it.
Congratulations again on your second place finish, and by our calculations, this should move you up to 3rd place overall in the standings. Standing next to us now is the man who finished in 3rd place, started 6th, Chris Shearburn, in the Thomas Super Wheels number 36 Chevy Silverado. Chris, boy, that truck was hooked up in the last 30, 40 laps or so. When you came out of the pits, in fact, we were watching your truck when you pitted. It looked like you had a great pit. You came out a little bit behind Kevin, but quickly you and Gorlinski drafted. I was amazed. I thought for sure that you guys were going to go blow past him. Of course, caution didn't work out that way, but what changed in your truck to make it so fast other than the draft? But it just seemed the second part of the race, you had a very, very fast truck, whereas you had an okay truck before that.
Well, with 6 setups, we don't make any changes to them, so it's just a matter of biting my time early in the race, and when I got down towards the end, it was time to go. Unfortunately, just things aren't working out right now to get that win in yet. I don't know, all these cautions are kind of ruining the racing, and I think it's getting killed silly. But it was a good win by Kevin. He played it smart the whole race. He made all the right decisions, and even Danny there made the right decision and everything, and it was a good run. Hopefully maybe we can do better next week.
Yeah, I can hear the frustration in your voice. I know that several drivers were frustrated. Some of the cautions were racing deals. I'm sure you all see that on the replay. Others were just, typical cautions. Especially they say it all the time: cautions breed cautions, and that definitely was the case tonight. We just couldn't let things that seemed like it sorted out. We really thought we were going to have that long green. We had a long green flag run. Really thought we were going to run green to the end, but just didn't work out that way. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish, though. I'll tell you, it looked great. Your truck looked very, very fast, and it's just a matter of time before you're in winner's circle. Congratulations on your 3rd place finish.
He was. He's on now.
All right. Well, we're stepping up then with a couple of our drivers. Brian Mooney and Ken Carlin has stepped out, so we're going to grab Brad Davies while we have a chance. Brad, You even led some laps, led 9 laps, and were doing great there for a while. What happened to drop you back to 16th?
Well, I kind of made a pretty bad decision there after I got by King and Martin. Actually, they had a little contact. I was able to get by them and lead some laps there, but I made a bad decision and took 2 tires because the truck felt pretty good, and I thought I could get by with 2 tires and come out with a pretty good lead, and I didn't think they'd be able to run me down, but unfortunately I wasn't able to stay in the draft with some of the other cars around, and wound up blowing out the left front tire, and had to come into the pits and get it changed.
Well, that's too bad. You had a very, very fast truck there at the beginning of the race, certainly, and mixing it up, you were in the top 5 that whole time up to that point, and it's unfortunate that you dropped back to 16th. Overall, in the point standings, we have you listed at, let's see if I can pull this up here. Where are you in my point standings? Do I have the right point standings list? I don't see you in my list. Where are you at overall, Brad? Well, you are 29. You had a wreck last race, I think, and that dropped you back in points.
Yeah, we had an engine failure last week, pretty early in the race. I was kind of disappointed, but that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
And go for next week.
That's right. You were running up front last week and running up front this week. Hopefully your luck will turn around. Good luck next week. We'll see you then.
Thanks. I'll be back.
All right, and finally, the number 2 truck, Martin. I didn't want to walk over here, and I'm glad you had a few moments to calm down. It was like you predicted. It was a little crazy out there, and you were just biding your time, and it looked like on that restart, we weren't able to get a good look at it, but it looked like the tires just spun on your Chevy Silverado there, went up into the wall and collected some of the guys behind you.
Yeah, that was just the end of the melee, but I had a real good run going, had a shot at win, and then made my green flag pit stop, and I got caught speed on pit road, so that put me behind and got my temper a little hot, and after that I was pretty much done for.
Well, we really appreciate you coming in here and racing with us. Of course, a lot of folks know you from your Busch Series racing, and what they don't know is that you take this pretty serious as well. We had a land tournament a couple years ago that Dale Earnhardt Jr. attended, and we had an NBC crew there. I wouldn't let them into the room where the drivers were. They could film from the doorway, but they couldn't understand why. They saw Junior wiping his hands off on his pants, and the reporter turned and looked at me and said, "Is he nervous? Is he wiping?" And we just couldn't get it through their head that, sort of like DW was saying to you the other day on the speed program. You sit on your top of your computer. Well, a lot of things are simulated, but the racing's not. It's probably not the exact same as you guys do on Saturdays, but it's as close as most of us will get to race, and your heart's still beating, and your temper still gets up, and you still feel like banging around out there. Isn't that the case?
Yeah, I'll tell you, sim racing is a lot like the real thing. The only thing you don't get, obviously, is the seat of the pants feel, and it makes a lot of people have fun with it. We absolutely have fun with it, and we're glad everybody's here racing with us, having a good time. And it sure does get tense at times, and you get mad when you get wrecked or anything, just like you do in the real racing. But we love to do it, and just have a blast.
Well, good luck in your next Busch race. Thank you for racing with us here, and we'll see you next race. Take care. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us from the Lycra Racing 200. We're going to close out with a recap of our last week's race. Sit back and enjoy the show. We apologize for the streaming difficulties. We will have the stream up and available for download tomorrow. We will post a link in the DMP Truck League forums under general discussion. Please go in there tomorrow morning. The link should be up. Download the file. Watch the race if you weren't able to watch it this evening, and enjoy the show. Thank you on behalf of the Internet Racing Network, Tom Robio and Jim Royce in the production booth, Gabrielle Albano and Bill Dorsey, My name's David McCall. I'd like to thank you for joining us this evening. We'll see you next week. They're coming down, coming right at us. The black truck on the lower left, part of your screen. At the end of there, the red Coca-Cola Chevy Silverado with the tape all over the front. That's Brett Rupert. They're trying to get down underneath the 55 of Walker, but Walker's not ready to give that position up. And here comes Martin sneaking up on the outside of that number 5 Suncoast Chevy Silverado, and Rupert goes up and brushes them. Brett pinched him right up against the wall and then got an outstanding run and comes up and brushes against the Nair. I think Brett's reaching for his coat down between his legs or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but he's brushing everybody out there in the meantime. Both the 5 and the 30 save it. They don't lose anything. They're just out there banging, throwing koozies at each other. And Rupert must have damaged something. I'm not sure what, because there goes the 30 just pulling away. In the meantime, things haven't changed up front. We still have Hamlin in the 99 leading this race, but here's the battle right now. Shearburn in second, Majors in third, Walker in fourth, and there goes Rupert. Gives a little love tap to there, looks like, trying to get down underneath him. Can't quite make it. There he goes. We're going to go down under there. So nothing wrong with the truck. You can back at it a little bit before, but that tape definitely helped him hold it low. And fast, he can carry the momentum down. In the meantime, Walker and Majors have stretched out about a 6 or 8 truck lead. Again, this is a battle for the 6th position. And the Nair stands on the gas in the Silverado and is able to run that high line and throw out from Rupert. And if Rupert's not careful, he's going to have absolutely no tires here in just a second. We've got 15 laps to go. And there goes Dan, almost loses the truck and has to change it all the way up the track. I don't know if he's trying to save his tires, but it looked like for a moment that he almost lost it. But he carries the momentum down through the start-finish line, and there goes Martin trying to get down low underneath the 60 of Rupert, but can't quite make it. I don't have to sit down and lay down here. Pass is about this. And up front, we still are running our same running order. Hamlin, Shearburn, Majors, they've stretched it out about 6 or 8 track lengths over Walker. Jump back to the back here. And there's Gorlinski. Gorlinski, out of nowhere, has picked up 2 or 3 positions in that Chevy Silverado here. He's just been riding behind these guys back there, and here comes Supka creeping into the picture as well. But Gorlinski's been about 3 or 4 positions back. Hartenson's off the pace, Iannarelli's off the pace, and there goes Gorlinski underneath the 30 of the Nair. I think with all these guys battling so much, they've just burned up their tires, and the 2 is just recently. 5 laps to go, 4 laps to go actually. Hamlin running up there up front, still leading this race. He's led it since the last restart. That beat Shearburn out of the pit by half a bumper, 2 inches, 3 inches. Single file, 1, 2, 3, lap 195 of 197. Hamlin's got about a buck and a half lead over Majors. Shearburn trying to get back around, but I don't believe it's going to happen. And no, caution is out. Caution is out on the track. And this is it. This is going to be your running order. Woo! Delta Com, 200. What a finish. What a wild finish. Folks, lap 196 of 197. Hamlin held on for the win. The 17 of Majors is giving a little love tap there to the 99. Checker flag flying for the 99 of Denny Hamlin, followed by T.J. Majors. Chris Shearburn, the 55 of Jason Walker, the 2 of Gorlinski. Brett Rupert able eventually to get around the 30 of Nair. We're going to see if we can't catch the 81 here. Unhappy with, surprise, surprise, the 21. Someone's going to come up to the 21 and say, hey, how you doing? I'm unhappy with you. And there goes the 21 over on its hood and smashed up. The 21 says, hey, there you go. Oh, I missed you. Yeah, it's just all in fun. Love you. Mean it. We'll step away for just a moment. We'll be back with concluding thoughts, interviews, and more from the eDeltacom 200. We're back live at the eDeltacom 200. We've got a number of drivers here with us. We're going to start off with our second place finisher, TJ Majors. TJ, that was pretty wild and exciting there at the end. You led for a good number of laps. How was your Silverado handling out there?
I guess it was the same as everybody else. But it was pretty cool. Me, Chris, and Denny, and Walker had a pretty good race up front. I just had I qualified bad, and it kind of hurt when I took it, I'd drive around the truck, and that's about what it cost me every time I come out of the pit, come up behind Denny and Chris.
It looked like it there at the end, the last 25 laps or so, TJ. We thought you were one of the slower trucks, and Walker was trying to get around you. By slower, I just mean that top 5 group. But then as things went on, you seemed to stretch out a little lead, and in fact got around and was battling Denny there at the end. Were you trying to save your tires, or was your truck a little tight, or was it just was it a strategy more than the way the truck was handling?
I was trying to do something like that. I figured Denny and Chris would get racing. And then I figured just 2 laps side by side, pretty much hurt their tires enough where I could get around them. But they never really got side by side. Another run before that, Danny kind of pushed off 2 and Chris got under them, and they raced side by side for about 3 laps. And I knew that was going to hurt them. But they never got side by side, and I just had enough I stayed enough just to get around Chris, and never really got last couple laps and to get a shot at Denny. It would have been real hard to get him, but I mean, you always have a chance.
Well, congratulations to a second place finish. I think right now you're 9th overall in the standings, so this should move you up a ways, especially since Kevin, the overall points leader, finished back in the pack back in looks like gosh, I don't even see him up there right now in the official standings. 13th is where he finished, and Junior wasn't there this evening. Stevens and Voss both out of the race early, so this should move you up. Good race. Congratulations on your second place finish.
Appreciate it. It was a good run for us, and had a fun time tonight. Look forward to it. See you guys next week.
Good deal. Now we're going to grab Chris Shearburn here. Chris, fresh off his championship in the VRW Cup division. Chris, you look like you had the truck to beat there for a long time. You led a lot of laps and battled at the end. It looked like Danny just beat you by an inch out of the pits there. We were watching the pit exit as you guys came out of there. And for a number of laps, you were really running the high line. Was that to save your tires? What was going on with that?
Yeah, the high line stuff was just mainly after the tires wore off, the truck slid up a little bit, and it seemed like it worked a little better for me to move up there. Yeah, it kind of sucks to lose a race on pit stops, but that's just the way it goes. I'm not really sure what I could have done differently. I guess the pit crew just lost this one.
Fire them all, that's what I say. Well, it looked awesome. Literally, we were watching it live as you guys came out of the pits, and I'll bet you 2 inches separated you guys. In fact, I couldn't even tell as you came off who actually was going to be our leader until the scoring sorted it out for us. But it was a great race. It just shows why you're a champion in so many leagues. You ran so well, you ran so clean, and it was great seeing some other faces up there. But congratulations on a great third place finish. I know your spirit. You'd like to have been holding the first place trophy over your head tonight, but this should move you into first place overall and give you some distance over Kevin, who's probably going to drop back to 3rd or even 4th in the overall point standings. Thanks again, Chris. Now moving on to John Gorlinski. Jason, we're going to come to you in just a second, but John, I got to ask you, we looked up with 10 to go, and you're like in 10th place. We turn around with 5 to go, and you're in 5th place. What in the world happened?
the laps were winding down because of that fault over there, and I looked at how many laps to go, and there wasn't a lot, so I figured I had to go somewhere, so I chose the High Line where Scoop there, didn't run all night, and got up there and got by 2 guys, and passed out everybody up there besides Dan and Nate. And at the end, I knew I was getting because I usually run the low line if I've been running all race. So I worked on it and finally got by him and cleared him. Got 2 out there to talk to him at.
Well, your truck looked like it was flying. I'll tell you what, Denayer, Rupert, Iannarelli, Hardin, all those guys were battling hard. And it just seemed like all of a sudden you got another gear and just came flying around those guys. When they're in fixed setups, it's pretty noticeable when a truck just takes off like that. Congratulations to working your way up around those guys and finishing 5th place, I believe, and that should move you up in the points. I'm not sure. I'm looking at my list here. Where you were at Daytona. What was your position leaving Daytona?
I think it was 30th, but I'm substituting in the Pro Series for both Daytona and Rockingham so far. I was down for 2 races tonight.
Gotcha. Well, congratulations on your 5th place finish. It was a great race. Great watching you charge there at the end. Good luck next week at Atlanta. Jason Walker, 55. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic! What a run! Out of your hot rod was up there all night long. It seemed like there were some names that we're used to talking to, the Sherburns, the Majors, but all of a sudden the 55 got up in that top 5, top 6, and pretty much stayed there all night long. You had a wicked fast truck. It looked like you were held up a little bit. At first we thought there with the last 15 laps or so by TJ, you had a bunch of people swarming behind you. He was able to eventually stretch it out and in fact get around Sherburne for second. But you had a great truck all night long.
Yep, I wasn't really trying to race TJ there. I was just trying to stay up there and not get involved in them guys racing behind me and stay up there all race. So it's a pretty good run.
Great run for you. Coming out of Daytona, I'm sure you would have liked to have had a higher finish than you did, but this should move you up in the point standings. Great top 5 finish. How are you next track, Atlanta? Are you have you been testing there at all? Are you ready for that?
I haven't tested any yet, but as soon as I get the setup, I'll try to finish some laps.
Yeah, we probably should wait on that setup. Well, congratulations on your 4th place finish tonight at the eDelta 200. Look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for all of you drivers this evening. It's a great battle there the last 25 laps or so. We'll see you next week at Atlanta for Internet Racing Network. My name is David McCall. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Thank you very much to Jay Pappas, helping out Tom Robio in the broadcast booth. Of course, our producer, Tom Robio, here in studio with me, Jim Royce, running the control panels and everything. Thank you to the audience for helping us to shake the cobwebs off, for Tom Oliver for the video help, Kevin King for the video and pics, and of course to the DMP Truck Racing League letting us broadcast, and our primary sponsor here at the IRN eDelta.com. On behalf of all of them, I'm Dave McCall. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll see you next week in Atlanta.
And you say